Last summer. Last summer. I will always know what you did last summer. Oh, you mean the 2006 direct-to-video schlock festival sequel to the previous two films in the franchise? The one that manages to completely fail to capture the magic and characters from the first two and instead is an absolute mess. Yeah, that one, yeah. Oh, I've already seen it. Oh, you have? Yeah, man. Yeah, we're doing a direct-to-video thing on podcast, and, like, it was on the, we saw it on that. Okay. I'm doing the review right now. Oh, right. That is why you called, right? Well, yeah. Yeah, it was, yeah. Well, I gotta go. Right. Well, I'm gonna hang up now. Yeah, I'll speak to you later, yeah. Hey, you wanna play Blood? Nope. Last Summer 3. Yes, that's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm calling it, because if you think I'm gonna fully say, I know what you did last summer, I still know what you did last summer, and I'll always know what you did last summer. Every time? No, forget about it. I am not saying I know what you did last summer. See, here's the thing. That previous bit was filmed a couple days ago, and I just wasn't happy with the following bits afterwards that I filmed, so I'm just going to start over again. What I'm saying is, the first Last Summer film kind of traumatized me when I was a kid, and that's because it captured some sort of weird magic that made it relatable in a sense, but also made it scary. And I feared for my life when I was little, and I tried to be brave when I was walking around at night, but Fishman. Obviously, I've grown up now, and that fear isn't there anymore. But what I'm saying is, this movie is terrible. So let's get into the film and let us see how terrible it actually is. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over our characters that I just now realized I haven't pulled up the names of, and that we're going to have to do in post. Anyway, so our characters of the film are Amber, Colby, Lance, Roger, Zoe, and PJ.
Yeah, we're gonna wait for the Emmy on
Oh shit. Yeah, but basically these idiots decided to pull a prank with the fishermen in the middle of nowhere because they live in Breckenridge, Colorado, which is, a city in the middle of the U.S. that has no big water sources nearby. It's essentially, it's not even a city, it's a town. It's essentially a mountain resort with a bunch of ski lifts. Anyway, they pull off the prank, but what I also pull off is getting one of their friends killed, and this triggers the events of the film. And in any normal circumstance, people would just go to the authorities and say, hey, we messed up, this was supposed to be a prank, but it was an accident that PJ died, but they don't do that. This triggers the events of the film, and also introduces us to one of our other very, very important characters, which is Fish Hook. Yeah, that comes back into play later, even though it's clearly getting thrown into the water as we speak. So, PJ dies, a year passes, certain things happen in the film that aren't really that important. All you need to know is that Colby is an absolute asshole, and he was supposed to go to LA but didn't, so him and Amber break up, and that gives Lance a chance to move in because he's clearly had the hots for her for ages. But regardless of that, so yeah, they've inherently summoned the fisherman somehow, who is now in town and is about to kill them all because clearly Amber gets the message. And, well, oh, sorry, she gets 50 messages because the fisherman texts. Yes, he does. And she decides to get the gang back together. So obviously the first person she goes to is Zoe because she's the only... Oh, goodness me. Oh. Oh, my. Oh. So anyway, Amber stays, she goes to Zoe, also known as the love of my life, and they do the thing where they stay together and they try to talk to everybody that was involved with the accident, which was obviously an accident, which they should have told the police, but don't tell secrets, because I know what you did last summer. Ooh. And yeah, so they go to Roger, and he does a jump scare to them, and he threatens them with a torch for some reason, and then he turns it off. Clearly Roger is the one that's the depressed one, and he's gone down his own gutter. And they go to Colby, and they tell him because he works at the pool now, and wait a minute. When did the killer have the time to write that with water on the side of the pool? How did nobody see him? When did he get the chance to get a mold? Because that's clearly done with a mold. And just write, I know what you did. Did he pee? Did he just go? Did he do a pee pee? Anyway, let's go to the first encounter with the fisherman. As we all know, these characters are absolute idiots because they know that somebody's stalking them and following them, but they decide to split off on their own because Amber decides to go to the mountains with a bike. And a pro tip, when you go to the mountains, regardless of what time of year it is, check the weather report or check the forecast because it's the only way to know if you're going to be safe up there on your own. So yeah, so then we get another pointless jump scare, and Amber goes down the lifts, even though technically she shouldn't really be going down the ski lift if there's a storm approaching and there's a bad weather, because wind and fuck ski lifts, they're scary. Yeah, so there's the fisherman. Oh no, how did he? Right. The only reason why the lift got turned on is because Amber was going down them. To get her down safely. And where's her bike? The bike with the flat tire, whatever. Who, in their right mind, down at the base, decided to let a man in full a fisherman gear, get on the lift and go up? Because he's clearly in the opposing lift as she comes up. Who, when, and again, how is it so convenient for this man to just show up at places without people seeing him? How? Anyway, so she tries to convince everybody else that there's a killer on the loose and he's after them. And Lance gets involved as well because his bike gets messed up because he's known about it because PJ told him because they're cousins or something. I completely forgot about Roger getting killed, but obviously we're going to have this prolonged scene of him drunkenly running around. Also, did he swim to get the fish hook? Did he swim? Did he swim? Oh no, watch out for the coat! Who the fuck keeps a coat there? Why? So anyway, the killer manages to stage that. He manages to stage it as a suicide. So then the police keep the witnesses there to get testimonials off them. And they just let him go. Like, you're a prime suspect. Why? Even if you left a note, why would you... Oh, you know what? Never mind. Then obviously the group splits off again. The best bet is to stay together, but they split off. So Colby gets attacked Or is it Bobby or Colby? I don't give a fuck. He's got the IQ equivalent of a dust mop. He's an absolute douchebag in this film. But he gets attacked. And even though we got attacked, he still plays the dumb jock stereotype that he's been told to play. Even though any sane person with a right frame of mind would go, okay, so I just got attacked. I'm going to be more careful, but no. These idiots decide to jump to accusations and try to find even more red herrings for this film to, you know, to fish for. See, the thing is, if you're watching this as like a sequel to the first two, you would already know that the red herrings are pointless. Whether it was, in this case, you know, the sheriff or any of the cops or anything like that. Red herrings are pointless in this kind of film because you know for a fact that it's somebody else because, you know, block numbers and all that dumb bullshit. Just go to the police and say I'm being stalked. It's pretty easy. And then you can go from there. But the dumb thing is, in this case, they don't do that. Because we have to have more jump scares. So yeah, our group of idiots, they decide to stay around because it's a year later now. You know, it's the 4th of July. Ooh, big accident. When the accident initially happened. And Zoe's like, you know, I'm gonna, there's a battle of the bands that might get spotted to, you know, by a big agent, so help me out. So they help her out. And they do the battle of the bands in this venue where, oh my goodness. Oh, all right. I'm not sweating. You're sweating. Also, the music of this, I did the music for this part because I wasn't sure about the music in this film and how copyright filled it might be. So if you enjoyed that song, there's going to be a link in the description for that. Shameless self-promotion. But what I'm saying is, they do the battle of the bands. They do a good job, you know. And Colby is obviously just a dumb piece of shit because he's off on his own in a closed-off bar. Right. As somebody who used to do this kind of thing and used to work venues, whether it was for concerts or for something else, areas that are not allowed for the public during such an event are locked off for public safety. And considering that a year ago, you know, an accident happened, the police here are clearly, you know, looking around. Why the fuck would a certain part of the venue be open? Only for us to get more contrivances for the, you know, for dumb shit to happen. Anyway, the fisherman shows up in the dressing room, and our characters, instead of running out and going to the nearest police officer and saying, policeman, mister, there's a fisherman and he's gonna kill me. No, they just run. And we get more horrible editing, and they're just running, and then they somehow get separated. I don't know how that happens, considering that, again, they're running through closed off parts of the venue that shouldn't be open to begin with, considering the security's supposed to be tight and they're supposed to be looking out, but So Zoe dies, and she falls in a pitch black room with only one spotlight on top of her because we have to have more contrived bullshit for the killer to show up again. So the sheriff gets killed. And then the killer manages to frame other people. Oh yeah, here's the one inventive kill in the whole film. Or the one kill that you see a bit more of, because most of it's a bit hidden. And you would think that this movie can get away with a PG-13, but there's a bit of crap language here and there, so there's that. Never have hot dogs for breakfast. Just don't. It's a bad idea. Oh, I'm gonna regret this later. So yeah, the only inventive kill in this whole entire film is right here. And even that wasn't that inventive, if you think about it, but at least it was kind of entertaining to look at, and it was one of the few times where the editing wasn't overly obnoxious. So then we get, this is the point where also the fishhook, our lead star of the film, shows up, and we find out that it harms the fisherman, who is now a ghost. Let it sink in. He's a zombie ghost. the allure of the first last summer film was that we didn't know if the fisherman was just a guy or if he was like a supernatural thing. But he was just a guy that was out for revenge because these teenagers essentially left him for dead. In this one, I mean, in this one, that's a bit of an excuse for all the dumb, random shit that happens in the film. But he not only is he a ghost, but he's also an absolute idiot because he's had multiple chances to kill these people, and he's had multiple chances to get rid of them and dispatch them one by one when he's had them on their own. But he just doesn't. And then we get, towards the end of the film, and it's just this dumb fight with them, and they shred him up. And he could have killed these kids many a time, except he left dumb warning signs for them, or he shredded up Zoe's couch. Just stab her there and then, man. If you're going to be killing him. The only one he killed properly was Roger. And he's had multiple chances. Why didn't he just kill Colby at the pool when he shanked him initially? But yeah, it's just a stupid film. And on the podcast, we often say that there's such a thing as a bad film, obviously. But a bad film, in a lot of cases, has some redeeming factor about it that makes you come back to watch it. And there's plenty of examples for that. But there's bad films that are not only bad because they're bad, but they're bad because they're boring and they lack any sort of originality. And this one is the ideal example. And frankly, I wouldn't suggest watching this because it's just bad. And there's nothing to redeem it. So I'm saving us both the trouble. You know everything you need to know about this film, so you don't need to watch it. Why did I watch this again? Why? Anyway. Thanks for tuning in and watching and suffering through this with me. Yeah, links to everything is in the description. And if you want to support this, subscribe, I guess. Do whatever you want. I'm not going to stop you. Listen to the podcast. We talk about this one a little bit more in depth than I did here. And yeah. Finger guns. Choo, choo, choo. Okay, I need a beer. 10 to 11 in the morning and I need a fucking beer. Jeez.